Abby Huntsman announced she's leaving The View after just over 1 year at the table. The reason she gave was pretty cut and dry, but there's a lot of speculation beneath the surface that may have contributed to her difficult decision. Abby Huntsman has a policy of putting family first, and that's just what she planned to do by leaving The View.
This is a really special table, the most iconic show, I think, on television, and the smartest women that I've ever worked with. But today I'm saying goodbye.
In November 2019, her father, Jon Huntsman, announced that he was going to run for governor of Utah once again. The former presidential candidate initially held the post before leaving in the early aughts to become the ambassador to China under the Obama administration. He later served as the ambassador to Russia under President Trump, but ultimately resigned in August after 2 years of service. According to the New York Post, Abby plans to join her father's campaign as a senior advisor at his request. He had reportedly asked the TV host for help in November, spurring her to reevaluate her career. Now she's making the change official.
When you take a step back and you think about life, think about your kids, you think about what you want to do every day that just gets you going. And there's no one I believe in more than my own dad right now.
It seems like not a day goes by on the set of The View without some kind of drama between the hosts going on. That's kind of the premise of the show. Viewers tune in to watch the hosts yell at each other, or Donald Trump Jr., or Ann Coulter, or whichever guest du jour they've invited on for their controversial opinions, only to be shut down by Whoopi Goldberg, the show's resident mediator. Sometimes that drama extends backstage, and according to some reports, a backstage feud may be one of the reasons Huntsman decided to leave the show. The same month that Huntsman announced her exit, Page Six published a report detailing an alleged feud between Meghan McCain and her talk show co-hosts. The tabloid claimed that even Huntsman, whose politics most closely resemble McCain's, hadn't spoken to her co-host in about a month. Allegedly, an insider told the outlet, Abby was the last woman standing. It's bad. Meghan's so rude. A second alleged source backed up the claim, stating, Abby tolerates Meghan, but she doesn't genuinely like her. Their friendship has soured. But would that really be enough to make her leave the show? On its own, probably not. Though Huntsman hasn't addressed the Page Six rumors about her relationship with McCain, she did shut down similar feud rumors in September 2019. The star told E! News that she was, quote, laughing about the false stories while on maternity leave. Considering Huntsman seems to rise above the gossip, we'll probably never know if a feud is what actually caused her to quit. Abby Huntsman didn't work on The View very long, but she's hardly the first host to quit. Her resignation was actually a lot more cordial than some of the show's other former co-stars. Elizabeth Hasselbeck, who was ultimately fired from The View in 2013, reportedly tried to quit the talk show during a commercial break in 2006 after a particularly explosive fight with Barbara Walters. In 2015, Rosie O'Donnell quit for the second time in 2 years. Rosie Perez also resigned for a second time after an alleged blowout with Kelly Osbourne. She lasted just 10 months. With so many hosts shuffling in and out, you have to start to wonder what's really going on behind the scenes. According to CNN, the talk show has a toxic work environment that Huntsman was repeatedly complaining about. Huntsman allegedly met with ABC's Senior Vice President of Talent, Barbara Fedida, prior to making her exit. During this meeting, she gave her resignation and reportedly discussed what she saw as the program's toxic work environment. According to 3 anonymous sources, this is something she's brought up in the past, and now she's apparently had enough, using the opportunity of her dad's political campaign to make a graceful exit. Abby Huntsman's policy of family first goes a lot further than just her dad. The star is a mom to newborn twins Ruby Kate and William Jeffrey, and a 2-year-old daughter, Isabel. A mere 4 months before she decided to make a more permanent exit, the star returned to The View from maternity leave. But the first couple weeks of the twins' life was so difficult, she may have wanted to restructure her career to focus on her kids. According to People, Ruby stayed in the NICU for 2 weeks because her lungs were still developing, and the new mom was forced to drive back and forth between feeding William at home and feeding Ruby at the hospital. If it was already tough to leave her newborns at home to go back to work, this added an entirely new layer of stress and may have contributed to her decision to walk out on The View. Fox News obtained a statement that was emailed from executive producers to staff, which stated that part of Huntsman's decision to leave the talk show had to do with her kids, reading, We have some bittersweet news to share. Abby Huntsman is leaving The View to help run her father's campaign for governor of Utah and to spend more time with her young family. Abby Huntsman's time with The View may be over for now, but is it over for good? Never say never. After all, how many times have we seen Rosie O'Donnell go back and forth? What about Joy Behar, who returned 2 years after leaving in 2013? Could the same thing possibly happen with Huntsman? It wouldn't be anything new for The View. According to Fox News, Meghan McCain was, quote, heartbroken over Huntsman's exit, so at least one of her co-hosts could potentially rally for her comeback. Publicly, at least, she's leaving on good terms, and the show is always looking for conservative voices. For now, it seems like Huntsman is keeping the door open.
So passionate about believing.
Will you come back after he wins?
So, look, it's funny.
Yes? That's a good question.
Check out one of our newest videos right here, plus even more Nicki Swift videos about your favorite stars are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.